Welcome everyone's Glacier Guy, rocking the Glacier as always. Little deck type, we got Firesong and Sunspeaker. This is a lifelink burn deck, little Boros action. Try to see how far we can get our opponents down to zero as fast as possible. Let's see how this goes. Now, as far as like what's in the 99, got 36 lands, a little bit of mountains, a little bit of plains, little things going on here and there. Nothing too special. I kind of like the Arch Oval or Orazga. It's not too bad. Let's get into the 99. We got land tax because it's the Boros deck and we need some lands. Swords Plowshare for some removal, Lightning Bolt, Vandal Blast, Soul Ring, all the good standard offerings. Divine Offering, which helps us gain life while destroying artifacts. That's pretty nice. Mark of Asylum helps prevent all non-combat damage that we dealt to creatures you control. So basically, whenever I have to burn all creatures, if I have Mark of Asylum down, helps keep my creatures alive. Mizium Mortars for some burn. Price of Progress for some more burn. Young Pyromancer to make some more creatures. Because I am throwing about a decent amount of instants and sorceries around, so it helps me make a little bit more tokens, so I can build a wall against creature decks. This lets us fork some spells, also lets us fork some spells. Oddly enough, I don't have fork in here. Boros Charm, because Boros Charm is pretty sweet. Get some indestructible, some double, more indestructible than double strike. And then we go in Deflecting Palm. That looks just gross. And Deflecting Palm is pretty sweet tech. Lightning Helix in this deck. If I get Firesong and Sunspeaker out really fast, Lightning Helix does amazing work for how much mana it costs. A little bit of ramp. A little bit of ramp. Swiftfoot Boots, a little hexproof and haste. We do have a couple other equipment cards, so we don't necessarily want to use the Lightning Greaves. Because we're specifically trying to keep Firesong and Sunspeaker alive. So we got Invoke the Divine, does more damage, gains us some life, which does damage. Survival Cache helps us gain life, which also helps us do damage. This is another way to prevent damage that would be dealt to creatures that we control. This is just all sources. Gutter Snipe, pretty decent tech. I like the Gutter Snipe. Boros Reckoner, when it's dealt damage, deals that much damage to any target, and then it can gain first strike. Burnished Heart, you see a little bit of card draw. Some more mana ramp. This, if we can get this onto our commander, we're pretty good, except for dealing against bounce. So as far as good as we can get, it's pretty good. Sunforger, definitely like using Sunforger, giving our creatures a little bit more power, and lets us go look for other red or white instance cards, so not bad. Fumigate for some board wipe action. Righteous Confluence to help us gain life or create some blockers or destroy some enchantments if we have to. Dictate the Twin Gods, you want to flash this in right at the last minute when you're trying to kill your opponents. It's kind of like late game because it's 5 mana. Fire Servants. If red or instant source spells you control deal damage, you'll double that damage. So I want to throw that down. Whenever I throw this down, it gets targeted really quickly. Our Devastation, basically take away indestructible, and then it does a lot of damage. Mana Geyser, gives us more red mana. Generally, when I use Mana Geyser, it's cool to use Mana Geyser and fork Mana Geyser. If you have the mana, if you're set up to do a Reverberate on a Mana Geyser, you're pretty good. Neheb the Eternal. Just because Neheb's really awesome. Reforge the Soul. It's basically a wheel. Was it Wheel of Time? No, not Wheel of Time. Wheel of Fortune. It's basically a Wheel of Fortune, essentially. Giant Ballard, getting those instants of sorceries. I'm probably pretty much only going to plus her. I don't really know if I'm going to do the... I don't know if I'll ever get to the -8, but I'll definitely do the 3 red mana. Blaze Commando. Whenever instant sorcery spell you control deals damage, creates 2/1/1 red-white creature tokens with haste. So that's pretty good. Balefire Liege. Balefire Liege, some sweet tech for Boros deck. Excuse me. Guild of Lotus for some ramp. Pyromancer's Goggles, because it allows us to copy spells that we cast if we use the red mana. Feldar Sovereign, because if we gain a lot of life, we can hopefully just win the game. Charmbreaker Devils, obviously, because we do have Vindalcan Ori. I feel like I skipped something. Yeah, I feel like I skipped... Oh yeah, I skipped this whole row. I went right to Fumigate. So we got the Rock's Faith Mender. So life link, if you gain life, you gain twice that much life. Pretty nice. Mizzix's Mastery. Basically, exile cards from it takes things from your graveyards and allows you to copy them, which is pretty decent. Treasonous Ogre, which is dethrone, and you basically make red mana for life. Chain Reaction deals X damage to creatures. Burn spell. War Leader's Helix is a burn and heal. Aether Flux Reservoir is pretty good if we start to gain a lot of spells, or if we gain a lot of life, we can just burn our opponents for 50. Hedron Archive for some ramp. Primal Amulet for some pretty sweet ramp, and it allows us to copy our spells if we use it. Sad robot for sad robot. Vidalcan Orrery, so we can get a lot of stuff out here for Flash. Like, if I can get Feldar Sovereign drop down really early, or like at the end of my opponent's end step, and people aren't expecting it, as long as it doesn't get countered with Vidalcan Orrery out, it's pretty good sweet tech. Now, of course, Vidalcan Orrery tends to get destroyed really quickly, so we'll see how it works out. And well, Lost Dreams, so we can gain some X life and draw X cards, or whenever you gain life, you may pay X, so X is less than or equal to life, so yeah. So you can pay X mana to draw some cards. So let's get back to them. So we got Charmbreaker Devils. It's pretty just good for instant sorcery all around. Star of Extinction, because I like to destroy a single land. Volcanic Vision. Get some of those spells back to me when I need them. Gisela, Blade of Cold Knight, allows me to take half damage, deal double damage. Pretty good. Blasphemous Act. I really like Blasphemous Act. It's really good, especially when you're facing a lot of creatures. And if you have Firesong and Sunspeaker out there, you gain life for every creature that is dealt 13 damage. So you gain however many creatures are out plus, times 13. So that's pretty sweet. Then we got Earthquake. Not too bad. Comet Storm. These are just burn spells. Just more burn spells. Yep, more burn spells. And more burn spells. And finally more burn spells. So yeah, those are all our X burn spells. Anyways, let's get into the game. There's a link in the description for the MTGO Traders deck list. It may or may not be exactly the same as this one. There was some cards that changed around a little bit, so it'll be really close to this one. If there's a couple cards different, I would go with, just go with whatever you think will fit this deck. Tune it however you feel like, and see you later. Bye.